Guys. Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You gotta get up here now.
Okay, coming up.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
Some of the results will say Kentucky's most haunted house. We didn't know that when we bought it.
When we came on site, we kind of toured. The energy up here was off the chain.
We've experienced a lot. There was a gentleman that was standing in one of the rooms, just standing there.
We just kept seeing flashes of light going across the horizon, the tree line. We got stopped in our tracks. We had a full female, full body apparition just walking across the fort grounds.
This is a massive investigation we are undertaking, and it's all going to happen under the shadow of an eclipse.
This could be a historical event here.
Welcome to Paranormal Gateway's Paratalk. I'm the host, Scott Wise. It's a nice special guest of Packman Paranormal, Ernie and Denise Pack. There are paranormal team based in historic and haunted Westmore, Kentucky. Although a very new team, each has several years' experience under their belts. Ernie has been investigating over 30 years, and Denise was born as family urban legend hunters and supernatural enthusiasts, which set her on her paranormal journey at a young age. Eventually, they are led together at Waverly Hills Sanatorium, where life changed forever. Recently, Ditto House and moved to Google refers as Kentucky's most haunted house, Ditto House Inn. I tend to agree that there is. They currently run paranormal events and investigations at Fort Duffield. Without further ado, let's welcome Ernie to the show.
Howdy, howdy.
It's today's week here later. My skin's not around. How's my lips like? Oh.
I have the same issue. Denise is she's at work right now, and I see her over here in the comments. So
Hi, me.
with surgeries right now.
No, okay.
But, she's stuck at the hospital for right now, but hopefully, maybe she'll be able to join us before the show's over. You know,
maybe, yeah. I hope so. If not, I'll get back on you.
Yeah.
Very fun. So, most of our questions, what initially sparks your individual interest in paranormal, and how do you backgrounds you ever see leads to former Packman Paranormal?
Well, there's a whole lot to that. I grew up in a family of folks who believe. They weren't paranormal investigators by any means, but we had ghost stories passed down through the years in the family forever. And I grew up not far from Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Used to sneak in there as a teenager when it was an abandoned building before. Empty building that was abandoned back then. There was no security, anything. And I had some paranormal experiences back then, and things that I just couldn't explain. And so my interest just grew over the years. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts, and we used to go to these, do a lot of urban exploration kind of things, where we'd go to these old mills and old buildings that had been abandoned and just forgotten in time, and had paranormal experiences during that time, and my interest just grew over the years. Eventually I started doing things like running a recorder, and things that you see on TV all the time now. I didn't know that it was a thing back then. I would just do it, run a recorder and see if I get a voice or something. And so, I mean, one thing led to another. Eventually, I wound up being a tour guide at Waverly Hills.
Cool.
Hosted the private overnight investigations up there for years. I worked there several times off and on over the years. And that's where I met Denise. She was a guest of mine for a private overnight up there one night. and we were brought together basically by the spirit of room 502 at Waverly Hills. And her story, the spirit of that nurse, the story of her was something that we connected on that very first night. And we started talking more and trying to piece her story together. And we were just two people, interested in one particular story in the paranormal that had done some paranormal investigations. She had once been the president, I guess, of the Southern Paranormal Alliance, I believe is what it was called. And, she had a lot of connections in the field and had investigated all over. I had traveled out to a few places, but I didn't have nearly the experience she did. And one night we were searching for the grave of that nurse and had a Bigfoot experience. We were not Bigfoot people. We were not Bigfoot believers, but we had a Bigfoot experience there at that cemetery. And Connie Willis, who is one of the co-hosts or one of the guest hosts, I guess, for Coast to Coast AM, her and I had worked together on some things at Waverly Hills prior to that. And I knew she was very big into Bigfoot. So I reached out to her and told her about our experience. And she said, we need to get you guys on a show. And we'll do a thing called Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot. You guys can go out to a place. I'll send some Bigfoot experts out there. You'll be the ghost people. You guys do your ghost hunt. The Bigfoot people will do their thing, banging on trees and howling, whatever they do. And we'll see if we get the thing again. And anyway, she said, I just need a team name for you so that we can promote this. And I said, we don't have a team name. We're just two people. She said, well, you need to have a team name. And my nickname has always been Pac-Man. My last name is Pac. And what did Pac-Man do in the game? Pac-Man chased ghosts in the game. And so I said, well, how about Packman Paranormal?
There you go.
And so that's how Packman Paranormal was born. Denise and I started doing a podcast. We wound up in a relationship and started doing a podcast together and built a pretty decent following based mostly on telling Sarah's story, that nurse that I talked about from Waverly Hills. And it just grew. We both had a lot of connections in the paranormal community, which just grew and grew and grew. And heck, now we find ourselves, being asked to speak at Paracons and being asked to speak at Bigfoot conferences, believe it or not. And we've got our own podcast. We've been on a few television episodes. Golly, it's crazy. We didn't expect that. We've been in magazines and books, and who knows what's next. But it was just something that neither of us really expected when we started out. Just connecting based on that one little story from Waverly Hills. It's turned into all of this.
And I think September, they're having the Bigfoot Jamboree. I'm probably going to that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll check it out. You're talking about Bigfoot. Daniel Cass, right?
Yeah.
From the
Hinsdale House.
Yeah. You were there for a whole weekend. And we caught in the woods the noise. It sounded like Bigfoot. A whole bunch of them. And what happened is we had put a recorder on the porch because that guys heard earlier when they were out smoking, outside because we're in the foot.
Right.
And we picked it up. And I could play a couple minutes for you if you don't hear it.
If you want to, sure.
Yeah, I'll take a minute to hear it. But you can hear that birds chirping. You can hear something messing with his cord on the porch. And then you can hear that in the background. And see what you think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That gives you chills out here.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
that's good stuff. We actually are going to be on an upcoming episode of Haunted Discoveries where we are with Ron Moorhead. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. If you ever heard of the Sierra Sounds,
Yeah.
he's the one that recorded those, and that's a very similar tone to what he has in those Sierra Sounds. So yeah, that very well might. Dan had
I
Bigfoot.
should send it to him. Maybe he listens to it then.
Yeah.
Do you have his info?
I could get it for you after.
Yeah, after still. Yeah.
Yeah. I just get you in touch with him through Facebook. He'll respond.
Yeah.
He'll respond.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. We called that more like, no freaking way. You know? We say it's like a whole bunch of them.
Uh-huh.
We were thinking they have a Sasquatch orgy.
Just having a big Bigfoot party in the woods.
Oh yeah.
They probably had a fire.
They had their own jamboree.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other night, I wish we were another night there. I would have tried to find where that noise was, but it's not so far off.
Yeah, it does sound distant.
We got a phone book in town. They look for any kennels there, but I did not find any dogs barking or anything, or coyotes or anything. That sounds really.
It sounded way bigger and deeper than a
roll
dog.
and
Yeah.
That
I've heard that sound.
Yeah.
I have heard it. I see Rob Stackowicz over in the comments. I see Denise over in the comments.
Oh, maybe you can. I was trying to get a co-host here, so I can do 5 things at once. All right, I'm back up real quick. We'll go through them. Okay, never miss a comment. Oh, it's fine. How's it, Denise? Good luck, mate. We got back up. Sorry, guys. Back up here.
Yeah, we're not a fairly new team now. That bio probably needs to be updated, I guess.
Yeah, I've been doing it for over 20 years now. That's how old I am.
Yeah,
I started back in '98.
Yeah. We've like I say, Denise has been doing it her whole life. Her parents used to go around. She grew up near Mothman country. Not too far from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And her parents used to go looking for Mothman, looking for, just chasing these urban legends around that area. And there's a lot of them in that area.
Yeah. Well, I want to go there too.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't think they're too far drive from me.
No, it's right there across the river.
Yeah.
Right across from Point Pleasant is Ohio, so it's not far. But I'll tell you where you need to go. You need to go to the Rock Island Esoteric Expo in October. That's in Rock Island, Illinois.
That's not too far from me.
No, it's like hour and a half or so. I don't know. It's not too far out of Chicago. It's right there on the Iowa and Illinois border.
What's it called again?
The Rock Island Esoteric Expo.
Okay.
We're going to have a Bigfoot panel there, and we're going to be giving, we're going to have a Packman panel also. Yes, Packman Paranormal does rock, Rob. Rob is the co-owner of the Get Haunted Network, where we do our podcast. So it's good to see him in here.
Is that one of the things you have sent me? 2 pictures?
Yes. Yep. That is one of them.
All right. Yeah. And
that's actually going to be here in West Point, Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. And there's one here.
There it is.
There it is.
Rock Island. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
we're gonna have a little on the Friday night, on the 3rd. The expo is on the 4th, but on the night of the 3rd, we're going to have a Bigfoot outing with us, Squatchman, Greg Bakken, who's the host of Ghostbox Radio. He's out there doing a CE5 experiment. So we're going to kind of see if we can't get a little Bigfoot activity, maybe a little UFO activity. And that's going to be a add-on ticket that you can get at the expo. They haven't, I don't know if they've got all that lined out yet on the ticketing for it, but we just got that confirmed this week that we're doing that at a forest right there near the Roadhouse. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah, if I get out there, I won't be able to do a hunt because I have a rollator.
Yeah.
But I could do Saturday if I get next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could try it. I'm going to Bigfoot January, September. I'm going to excuse me, going to the Gettysburg Battle Bash in July.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to visit my family, and my wife's going to take me there. So
cool.
I'll be there for. I love it.
Yeah, we went to the bash a couple of years ago, and we're supposed to be speaking last year, but some things came up and we didn't.
I missed last year. I saw you guys there 2 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw you there.
Yeah, we had a booth for Fort Duffield there.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna talk to you, but you're busy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a good thing though. I mean, it's good to it's bad to go and get a booth at these cons and just sit there and nobody come up and talk to you.
Are you coming this year?
No.
Okay.
I don't know when we'll make it back.
Okay.
To be honest. But
yeah, I have family there. I grew up in York, Pennsylvania, so
yeah.
I was lucky I had a battlefield down the road for me.
Yeah.
Got to go out there a lot. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that place is special.
Yeah.
Get Haunted just recently had an event at the Farnsworth House up there, and we wanted to go to that so bad, but we couldn't make it. We had other things going on.
Yeah.
But the Farnsworth is a cool place. We have stayed there, and I love that place. I mean, I love all of Gettysburg. Gettysburg is just an awesome place. I'm very much into Civil War history, and I think that a lot of hauntings come out of that. I mean, everybody that's in this field knows that there's a lot of hauntings that have come out of, a lot of stories have come out of the Civil War.
Yeah, I don't know, but we did a bed and breakfast up there and got all that stuff out during the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it was like to back out again, but we'll see. Yeah. So I leave my notes. I have to go my notes now because I messed everything up here. So what made you guys decide to purchase a house in knowing that was supposedly haunted?
Well, we didn't know it was haunted.
No.
We were looking for a historic home. And we had been looking in West Point, Kentucky for a couple of years. There's another house down the street called the Ditto Lansdale House. That was also a Civil War hospital, and it's also haunted.
Mm-hmm.
That we were hoping would hit the market. It never did. And one night I was laying in bed asleep at like 3 a.m, and I hear Denise, "We need this house." And I'm like, I wake up out of a dead sleep, and I'm all blurry eyed and everything, and she's shoving her phone in my face with a Zillow ad up. And it's for this house, and it says, "For all you history buffs, this former Civil War hospital, blah, 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 blah." And starts talking about it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll call the realtor Monday. This was a Saturday night going into Sunday morning. And she said, "No, you call him in the morning. We need this house." And I'm like, okay, I'll call him, but it's going to be a Sunday morning. She said, "I know, but get us on the list first thing Monday morning. We need to go look at this house." I'm like, okay. So I get up at 9 o'clock and I call the realtor's number, and he answered. And to make a long story short, we walked in the door of this house by noon on Sunday, and by 12:01 we'd already told them we'll take it. And just because it's one of those places, as a paranormal investigator, you feel it, you know the vibe, and this place definitely had it the moment we walked in. And so we made an offer on the house and left, and we're going down the road. There's a historic marker on the front of the house, and it's on the National Registry of Historic Places, and it says Ditto House Inn, 1841. So Denise just says, I'm going to Google it and see what I can find out about it. So she types in Ditto House Inn, 1841, West Point, Kentucky. The Google result pops up, 6 reasons why the Ditto House Inn is Kentucky's most haunted house. We were like, bonus, high five. That's in the episode of Haunted Discoveries that you showed the clip from.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, we didn't know it was haunted, but it definitely is. I mean, we have things happen here all the time. And we've been live on our podcast sitting right here and had that door right over my shoulder there open on us during the podcast. And it's latched. It's a door that's not balanced. Mm-hmm. And so it's got one of those little boat latches that, keeps it locked. Because if it's not locked, it swings open anyway.
Right. So
it had to have come unlatched, during the middle of our podcast. And that doesn't just happen, I mean, there was a reason why that thing opened. Somebody opened it. Yeah. And that was live on a podcast. Then just this past Sunday night during our podcast, we heard a scream. There was a big thump in the house, and we heard it and everyone else heard it. And then you hear a scream, or it's a high-pitched squeal or something that was not, we don't know where it came from. So we've had a lot of things happen here in the house. Some of them, I don't know, real subtle. Mm-hmm. And others just, blow your mind kind of things that, I wound up on the phone with Brandon Alvis at 2 a.m. going, dude, let me just tell you what happened. And, he's like, I can't explain it, dude. I don't know. So right. that led to them coming here and filming. And
that's cool.
They got some
with what I do on that fifth that I go back to the headphones on and listen, because I picked up female voices, because I think a female spirit here. Mm-hmm. But I also picked up a shadow that was on this side mm-hmm. behind me.
Yeah.
And I think there's something here. So yeah, I mean, it's not about me at all.
They're just people.
Because yeah. So the most compelling evidence seems to be there. Just
the most compelling evidence is probably the clip of the door closing on command for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just see that. Yeah. The video of that.
Yeah, that's probably the most compelling evidence we've gotten. The craziest thing that's happened we have a lot of crazy things that happen. But one night we had a storm coming in. And so Denise and I, we went and we're sitting on the back porch, just watching the lightning and watching the storm come across the river. We live right on the Ohio River. And we were watching the storm come in, and the storm got close. So we came on in the house. When we walked in the house, you could just feel it was charged. It was different. It had that energy in it. And so we said, well, let's go lights out and get some equipment out and see if we can get some communication. Because I feel like there's energy here right now. Yeah. And so we did. We got out, some rim pies and a couple other pieces of equipment and set them around the house. And we were standing in the parlor of the house where we could see all the equipment, but it was pitch black. If anything lit up or anything, we'd be able to see it though. And it was sitting around in different rooms. And we started asking questions. We went for about 10, maybe 15 minutes and got nothing. Nothing lit up. We got no responses on Spirit Box or anything that was pertinent, so we just said, okay, well, let's turn the lights back on and go on up to bed. And So she went one way to get to the light switch, and I went the other way to grab the farthest REM pod that was from us, which was sitting on an old organ. We've got an old pump organ out of an 1800s funeral home down in our living room. Yeah. We got a lot of items like that. Might have come with some attachments. We got a lot of those around the house. But anyway, I go to get the REM pod setting on that organ, and as I reach for it, the REM pod goes off, which it should, when I get close to it. And then she flips the light on. Well, right in front of that REM pod is a pile about that big. I mean, it's a good sized handful of petals off of the crepe myrtle tree from our front yard that were wet from the rain, sitting right in front of that REM pod that were not there when I put that REM pod there. They somehow had come in the house with the door closed, and were placed right there in front of that REM pod with us, like without setting the REM pod off, which was working because it went off when I reached for it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how that could happen. I've heard of apporting and things like that, where objects move from place to place or appear inside that were outside or whatever. But that was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that. And I mean, to this day, I have no clue how that happened, but I consider it a gift. We still have those petals. They're all dried up and rotten now, but we've got them in a little jar sitting on that organ down there now because, it's just cool.
Yeah, we love it when there's thunderstorms. Because we got we did an investigation at the fire museum and in Ohio, and it's thunderstorm right now. We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it definitely has an effect on paranormal activity. There's no question in my mind at all.
Yeah. You mentioned Bigfoot sightings at Fort Duffield.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the encounters you actually had?
Well, okay. The first time, we did not know there were any forest people at Fort Duffield. We didn't, we had just started doing paranormal investigations up there. And the first group that we had up there for paranormal investigation, we were down at one of the lookouts because there's a couple of the fort's up on top of a hill that overlooks the town of West Point, and there's a couple of really nice scenic overlooks up there. We were down at one of the overlooks, and we started hearing some things up in the main part of the fort. So me and Chad Cummings, one of the guests that was there, we decided to walk up there and see what we were hearing. And we get up there and we start seeing movement off in the trees on the far side of the fort. It was just, something blocking the light out in there. You couldn't really tell what it was or anything, but there was something moving in the trees. Didn't know if it was a deer or what it was. And then this thing walks up over the hill of the fort and right across the main fort grounds, and it was a Bigfoot. And we both of us just stood there like, and we're sitting there watching, and then we hear I think it was Chad's daughter behind us say, "Am I really seeing this?" When we turned around and realized that the whole group had followed us up there, and were watching. And so the whole group saw this thing walk all the way across the fort grounds and down over the hill, back down into the woods. And, we were like, whoa, okay, so we've got Bigfoot up here. That just happened.
Wow. Yeah.
That night, they actually had the trifecta. They had a UFO sighting that night, and we had a full-bodied apparition of a woman in the similar area where the Bigfoot had come out.
Wow. Also about UFO sightings.
Yeah.
Wow. It's got all there.
It's got it all. It's one of those unique places. There's a lot of them, a lot of those places around at least as far as I know, a lot of them in this part of the country. I mean, it might be everywhere, but I know here in this part of the country, there's several locations that have cryptid activity, UFO activity, and spirit activity all in one place. Octagon Hall Museum down in Franklin, Kentucky is another one that's got all that. I can't think of any, I can't name any more off the top of my head, but I mean, I know there's several. But we were pleasantly surprised to find that out. So now, we do events up there 4 or 5 times a year now at Fort Duffield. We call Spirits, Squatches, and Stories Around the Campfire, where we try to get a little bit of everything going on, and usually we do.
That sounds like fun.
They're a good time. I mean, it's really just we have a cookout. You know, we feed everybody. For your $50 ticket, you get cookout, hamburgers, hot dogs, snacks, drinks, you know, the works. And then we build a fire. We have ourselves, Todd and Leanne Eskew of the Black Wolf Paranormal usually join us.
Oh,
They can't make it for
I
Sunday.
like them.
They're awesome.
They're great.
That's our brother and sister. I mean, they've got their own room here at the house, the ladies' room right behind this monitor.
I had
Leanne's room.
them one already.
Yeah, they're good people. They are good people. But they're usually there with us. Greg Yost, the one and only Squatch Man. T-Dog, I don't know, man. I've heard bad things about you, brother. I try to stay away from you.
Tim is trouble.
He is trouble. He is trouble. Last week we were just trying to go have a pizza and relax a little bit. And the next thing I knew, T-Dog was meeting us at the pizza parlor, and then came down here and hung out at the house for an hour or so.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Had to put up with him and his wife and his son. It was terrible.
Okay. I'm gonna get out to your place and hang out.
Come on down.
I like to. Yep, I like to. But well, the history of Fort Duffield. What part of you think made it so a paranormal hotspot? Is it in general? I mean, just what happened there, or?
Well, Brandon and Mustafa wrote a book called Elements of a Haunting, where they talk about all the different, geological elements, as well as psychological elements and things like that seem to be crisscross in areas where you have a lot of hauntings. They talk about things like cave systems. They talk about rivers, running water. They talk about limestone. They talk about railroad tracks. They talk about a place with a history of, tragic events or, something of that nature. West Point, Kentucky has all of that. I mean, right out back here, you've got the Ohio River that comes together with the Salt River. Yeah. We've got railroad tracks about 150 yards from here that actually form an X right in the middle of town here. Basically, there's two different rail lines of track that come together out there. There's
hey, Bob Paranormal. Hey.
You speak of the devil, and there they are. You know, Lord, if Todd and Leanne are here, it's going to get bad. There's Buffy. I saw Buffy in here from Night Song Paranormal. They've been here to the house.
I had that one too.
Yep. They're good people. They are. They're also family.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in here, from Rob to T-Dog to the Black Wolf to Night Song, that's all family. But anyway, you've got the cave system, you've got the rivers, you've got the railroad tracks, you've got limestone. There's the side of the hill that Fort Duffield is built on top of is dug out. It's an old limestone quarry. It's not in use anymore, but that was a limestone quarry. So that whole hill is one big chunk of limestone. And of course, you got the Civil War history up there. There never was a battle there, but there were 48 deaths up there due to disease and accidents and various things like that. This town in its early days when it was first settled, there were several Indian massacres around this area. There's a large Native American population right around here, especially around that hilltop because it was the highest point in the area and right here at the convergence of these two rivers. So there was a lot of Native American history here. That's another thing that, as paranormal investigators, we all believe leads to hauntings. So it's just got all of the elements of a haunting, and it's been untouched. It's untapped. It's not a place that's been played out and investigated millions of times or thousands of times over the years. It's a fairly new location to the community. We're trying to get the word out about it because it is a special place, and it does have everything. It's got the trifecta, like I say. It's got the UFOs, it's got the cryptid activity, and spirit activity. And there's nothing evil there. I mean, it's just, you got Civil War spirits of young men who got sick and died tragically.
Yeah.
On a cold winter in 1861, up on top of a hill in a town where they weren't wanted because this was a Southern sympathizing town, and that was the 9th Michigan Union Army that was up there for the most part. So, it's very tragic, the situation that they were in up there.
Is there a lot of magnetic activity?
A lot of
magnetic?
You go up there and the EMF
Yeah.
levels are flat.
Yeah. I bet.
They are flat. I mean, your baseline up there is like a 0.06 or something. There's no electricity, there's no nothing, but you've got the running water, you've got the limestone, you've got you got everything else conducive to the paranormal activity.
Right.
And when you get an EMF spike there, something's going on because there's nothing that there's no power up there, no nothing.
Right.
So when you get a spike there, that you've got something.
So what kind of tools do you guys use?
We don't use a lot ourselves. Packman Paranormal, we use very little. I mean, we're very old school. We use recorders, and our phone. We take pictures with our phone. We'll do video with our phone.
Yeah.
We don't take a bunch of $1 million cameras out there or anything.
Oh.
We don't burden ourselves with a lot of equipment that you're focused on the equipment and you're missing what's going on all around it. I mean, as a guide at Waverly for years, I used to see teams come in there. They had 8 hours to investigate. Well, they'd spend 3 hours running the VR system and putting equipment in different rooms and everything, making sure they had just the right camera angle and the right lighting and everything to catch whatever they wanted to catch. And while they're doing that, I'm sitting there watching shadow figures walk across the hall back there, and they're missing it. I'm like, dude, while you're over here setting this up, go walked across the hall over there,
Yeah.
So
we investigating some VVRs, and like right now, the back of my car is collecting dust.
Yeah. I mean, it's I understand, like if you're trying to do something for a client.
Oh yeah.
Or if you are trying to be a content creator, where you've got to put some evidence out there to, to keep the numbers up and keep the clicks and all of that stuff. I get it. I get you having to document everything and trying to make sure that you're gathering evidence. We do it anymore for the experience.
All right.
I mean, we've seen everything right up to and including people levitate. Okay. And we've had Bigfoot experiences. We've had UFO sightings. We've seen all of that. And so I don't need to prove to myself or to anybody else that it's out there. I just want to experience it when it is there. And so we don't rely a lot on equipment anymore. And that's not a knock on anybody who does. It's a different focus that we have. If we're putting on a public event or something like that, or some kind of novice hunt or anything like that, yes, we get out the equipment because people like to see the things light up and they like to see the reactions in that way. But we do it more energy based than anything, you know. And I hate to sound, you know, all esoteric about it, but I mean, we want to experience it. We go in and we feel the energy of the location. If I'm drawn to a certain room in a building or something like that, just I go in there and I just stand there quietly in the dark and see what the room has to say to me.
Yeah, we started up doing that, and we were paying to go to these places, and they only be there 6 hours. Well, an hour set up, hours, you know.
Yeah, then you got an hour to take down. So
we just start using side cameras, you know, sitting around.
Body cams are good too.
Oh,
I know a lot of people are going to body cams because there's not a lot of setup or anything like that. They're real easy, and
I'm thinking about getting one of those.
Yeah, we don't have any, but I mean, I recommend them to anybody that's trying to figure out a good way to investigate. I think that's as good a way as any to, if you're wanting to video and document everything that's going on. Now, some body cameras.
At Hinsdale House, Daniel has video of every room while you're there. So you could purchase it. We think it costs $100.
Yeah.
But I had every room for those 8 hours, first 2 days you're there. I'm backed up on my 4 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah. I believe it. That fill up the hard drive quick.
Oh yeah, but all my EVPs, I got my 1,000 of them probably.
I believe it. We've gotten to the point. I'll guarantee you, I have still got SD cards out of digital recorders from 2020 that I have never listened to.
Well, I was working on transferring them. I got pretty far once I owned all of this. And also I have back when we had the DVR camp, there's the tapes they had in and has transferred them without paying, but yeah, it's pain.
Yeah, it becomes a lot of work. It really does.
But I love doing EVP work though. I enjoy that.
I think that's as compelling of a compelling. How do I want to word this? The most compelling evidence you can collect, I think, is a good EVP. When you know that there's no one around and that voice that you're capturing on that recording did not come from any living person that was in the room at that time. That's as good evidence as you
got all the a-holes out there who fake evidence and show videos and, you know, and photos. And that actually messes it up for us.
Right. There's a lot of people that are in the paranormal anymore because they think they're going to get rich and famous off of the paranormal, and they will do anything to get clicks and likes and all of that stuff. And I'm not about that at all. I want to experience it. And if people follow me and click on my page or my video or whatever, because I put something out there based on my experience, then so be it. But if they don't, that's fine. It was my experience. I didn't do it for them. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to do something for a client, or you're putting on, people have paid money to have an experience, and they want to see the equipment and all that stuff work, get the equipment out and do it. But otherwise,
we approached many years back about doing our show for Discovery, but they wanted, it's okay to have the rights for it, but we said about what we do investigations, but we want to be able to show the episodes so you don't get anything. And then back to us. They want that. They want to find out something every time.
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I know everybody over here in the chat knows that 99% of the time when we're on a ghost hunt or a Bigfoot hunt or anything, we're just sitting there in the dark talking to ourselves and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's, when you get that piece of equipment to light up, or you get home and listen and you got a good EVP or something, that's what makes it all worthwhile. But usually there's been plenty of times we've gone and spent a whole night at a place and left and felt like, well, we got nothing. Nothing happened.
Right. We get
And we know it's a very haunted location. It just so happened that we weren't in the right place at the right time or something.
yeah, and I think the video is hard to get to.
Yeah. And video with Photoshop and AI and all of that stuff anymore, it doesn't matter what you put out, somebody's going to tell you it's fake.
All right.
It doesn't matter what you put out. I know that for a fact because we've done it, and we don't fake anything. But that door closing that was on Haunted Discoveries, I had people that on the very YouTube channel that video was posted on. One of the comments was, "Oh, that's easy to do with fishing line." Like, well, dude, I don't own a fishing pole, much less any fishing line. And I got no reason to fake anything like that. This is my house,
Oh, we got some best video evidence. Do you heard of Poachtown Elementary School?
Poachtown Elementary, yeah, I've heard of it several times.
We got there of basketball final for the chair in gymnasium, and I don't know. Let me see. But yeah, we had got a map we picked up. That was pretty cool. I'll send it to you after yourself.
Okay, all right.
I thought I had them here, but I don't.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to show some of the clips?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay.
Guys. Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You gotta get up here now.
Okay, coming up.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
Some of the results will say Kentucky's most haunted house. We didn't know that when we bought it.
When we came on site, we kind of toured. The energy up here was off the chain.
We've experienced a lot. There was a gentleman that was standing in one of the rooms, just standing there.
We just kept seeing flashes of light going across the horizon, the tree line. We got stopped in our tracks. We had a full female, full body apparition just walking across the foregrounds.
This is a massive investigation we are undertaking, and it's all going to happen under the shadow of an eclipse.
This could be a historical event here.
Silas Rodman, who was a traveling insurance salesman. He was staying here. He had just checked in. He was staying here, and there was a card game going on, and he was caught cheating, and basically never heard from again until his body was found several months later.
We have seen what we think is him here. We don't know that it's him. We just started calling him, oh, I seen the salesman, because it started out that we were seeing him in one of those back bedrooms.
Caroline and I, we heard a grumble while you guys were talking. We both heard at the same time. Like, how would you describe the sound?
I thought it almost sounded like a grumble, like somebody
I almost thought someone like burped. Like I looked at Kyle and I was like, "Did you burp?" But nobody did. They hear it? Did Kevin or Kyle hear it?
I mean, I heard it on over here, and it sounded like it was coming.
It sounded like it was.
Yeah, so maybe I was hearing it in my ears through. I think it was loud enough. I heard it through the comms, and it sounded like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Like it was a grumble.
I mean, this is just a dream come true for us.
It's kismet, right? This
Right.
couldn't be a better situation for you guys.
Right.
We appreciate you guys having us out here.
Thank
we cannot
you.
wait to see what we find.
I can't wait.
Alf has the one child's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play it quick.
Is anyone in this room with me right now, in this children's room?
What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, did you?
I did.
Was that one of your stomachs?
That wasn't me.
Was not me.
And they also had a big flash.
Yeah, up at Fort Duffield.
Mustafa and Dr. Clore head back to the Ditto House to brief the team on their EMCCD finds at the fort.
So we set up the camera pointed in one direction. We're getting little dot fluctuations, little hits. We decided to change it to the other direction. Mustafa's like, let's look down there.
Okay.
We set it up there. And again, a couple little things, and then boom! Big ass flash. Like gigantic.
Wait, like a light? Like.
Yeah, we didn't see it with our naked eyes, but on the screen, there was a big hit, and it lasted a little while. And there was no sources of light. There was no airplane. There's no possibility of a car. There's no bicyclist. Nothing.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was a big flash.
Whoa. What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
That was a big flash, and that was nobody's flashlight.
We saw it. There was no physical source of this light. All we saw is it was a big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get there, dude.
It's an awesome place.
I want to come to Kentucky. You got a spare room in your house?
Yeah, like I say, we open up one Friday night per month for people to rent the house and investigate. Of course, it's our home, so we'll be here. But you have free roam to go anywhere you want. And it's $500 for up to 10 people from 7 p.m. until 11 a.m. and we feed you breakfast. So
Awesome.
it's not a bad deal. And then the fort is open.
Is breakfast in bed?
I'm not going to feed it to you in bed. You can come down to the dining room. Come down to the dining room. We got a big old dining room table. We can all sit around the table and talk. And
all right.
And then we kick you guys out at 11 a.m. so we can get some sleep.
There you go. Oh, all right. Hey, I got other questions. Does Denise have a tattoo?
Yeah, she's got a lot.
Oh, well.
She's got a lot. She's got more than I've got. We both got the 502.
Yeah.
We both got Get Haunted tattoos.
Oh, I like your one.
She's got, golly, she's probably got 11 or 12 tattoos.
Yeah. My wife bought me a t-shirt all the time. Everybody's saying if you hear a noise, run away from it. We all went towards it. And my wife, being a star as she was, she got me a shirt that says, "Run away like you're being chased by ghosts."
Yeah. Well, funny story about running towards something, okay?
Yeah.
When we were at Gates of Hell Cemetery, it's Casey Cemetery. They call it Gates of Hell.
All right.
Down here near Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Just about 40 minutes from the house here. And we were down there. We were doing another live stream investigation. And we were hearing something very big coming up the hill toward us. And this was, we were doing a big Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot thing, trying to do some Bigfooting and some ghost hunting at the same time. And we hear something huge coming up through the woods toward us. and I got scared because it was getting close, and you could tell by the crashing in the woods and everything. It wasn't a little deer or anything like that. It was something big. Sounded like a T-Rex coming up through them woods. And I got behind the van and I pulled out my 45 and I'm standing there behind the van like this looking. And the first thing I see when I'm looking down my pistol is Denise come around in front of the van and run down the hill toward it. And I pulled the gun. I'm like, what are you doing? She said, what are you doing? This is what we're here for. Let's go find it. And I'm like, that's big. What are you talking about? And she said, come on, sissy. And she just kept on going on down over the hill. And I'm like, well, this is how Denise dies. But whatever it was just vanished. I mean, we went down there with spotlights, with everything, trying to figure out where, because we never heard it leave. It came up the hill. When she started down the hill, the noise stopped, and that was it.
And next thing, if I heard a car because then the woods.
Yeah, it was.
You can tell by her tattoos.
She's crazy. I'm telling you.
That sounds like it.
She is.
I gotta go. Let's get with you guys sometime.
Yeah, come on out.
You.
Come on up. We don't get out and do a whole lot of investigation. Like I was telling you on text the other day, we don't get out and do a whole lot of investigations of our own anymore. I mean, we live in a haunted house, and we host a lot of events at the fort, and we co-host with Todd and Leanne, the Black Wolf, down at the Bell Witch Cave at least once a year, and then we do other things. Yeah, Todd just put in the comments over here. That's right. He has things thrown at him just about any time we're out in the woods in a Bigfoot area. Todd gets stuff thrown at him. And it's become a joke. He always blames it on me. I can be standing right next to him, and he blames it at me. He blames it on me. But yeah, he can second that Denise is crazy. See?
Oh my. Yep. Well, I'll eventually get to meet Denise. So.
Well, hopefully she can join us. If we do this again, hopefully she'll be able to join us because she's got a lot to add, and she gives me hell. So it makes it hard when we do our own podcast. I can't get a full thought out without her interrupting and slandering me at some point because she's mean to me.
Well. So is she listening now?
What's that?
Is she listening now? Denise.
She's at work.
Oh. I thought maybe she was tuning in a little bit. You say stuff matter then.
Uh-oh, what's she doing here? Just ignore Denise. And ignore Buffy. Buffy, you're wrong about that. That was the smartest move she made in her whole life.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll make good enough to make a judgment call. So the jury is still out.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're a lot of fun.
Well, I've enjoyed being here.
Yeah. But guess that I'll get back on maybe next year or something, but I'll keep in touch. I have some stuff I can send you.
Okay.
Check out, and if you have something said, I'll my email for sure.
Yeah, we can do that. And
also have here before you go.
Okay.
Shark showed up in the corner there. That's a direct link to YouTube Haunted Discovery episode.
Cool.
So if you want to see a full episode of Haunted Discovery with you guys on.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
that episode, I mean, I'm biased, of course, because they did it here at the house. But they've, this is their 4th season. We filmed with them in season 1, in season 3, and now in season 4. They they've had a lot of great evidence that they've caught. There's one particular episode where they caught a very clear shadow figure of a woman in a Victorian dress walking up a staircase.
Wow.
On Haunted Discoveries. Just awesome evidence. And but I'm kind of biased, but I really think that the episode that they filmed here at the house was one of the better episodes. Just the way it was filmed and the evidence that they caught. You didn't show a whole lot of the evidence that they caught on here tonight, but they did catch a lot. Besides the child's voice, they got a lot of direct responses when they were asking questions with the tripwire and the APL device and the EDI and all that other stuff. They caught a lot of great evidence here.
Oh, no, one sec here.
You got it?
Yeah.
Did you have meetings here? Oh, big tripwire hit
Yeah,
right
I hit
there.
here I seen it here on the bed.
Silas, if you're here, you were here on business and pleasure, right?
You were here to sell insurance, right? People said that you were playing cards here and gambling. Some people even said that you cheated at cards. If that's not true, can you please light up one of these lights here? Otherwise, we don't want people telling that story if it's not true. So if it's not true, light up something for us right now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was a big line.
There you go.
Yeah. So we don't tell the story that he was cheating in cards anymore because obviously he doesn't want that story told.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But
as actually a lesson, since you accept that he didn't cheat.
I don't know what happened. I mean, that's the story that has been passed down through town.
Yeah.
I got it from that story is the one that I got from my next door neighbor, who's one of the town historians, who actually used to own this house back in the 80s. And he's the one that said that he had heard that he had been cheating in cards and that's why he was killed. But we don't really know. And that's one of the things that we are kind of going to try to focus on since that episode came out and we saw that. We're going to try to get to the bottom of what really happened to Silas. We think that this room right here that I'm in right now is where he was at when he was attacked. We call this the murder room or the gentleman's room. And so we want to find out what really happened to him.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a 122-year-old cold case at this point. It happened in 1903. So
how long have you owned the house?
We bought it in 2023.
Okay.
March of 2023.
Oh, not real.
We haven't been here very long at all. Right. We've still got things out in the shed that we haven't unboxed from the move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like your room with the wooden doors and stuff.
Yeah, the house was built. There's some discrepancy as to whether it was built in 1823 or 1841. I think that kind of some of that confusion might go between the Ditto Lansdale house, which was also built by Abraham Ditto. It's 3 doors down from us.
Right.
In this house, one of them I think was built in 1823, and the other was built in 1841, and it's hard to tell based on the old records which is which, if that makes any sense at all. But they're both very old and very haunted, and both had a very similar kind of history. I mean, they both had many different lives over the years. I mean, from Civil War hospitals to hotels to brothels to you name it. And so it's hard to tell. But at 1840, if it was if it was as new as 1841, then it's still almost 200 years old.
All right.
1823, it's older than 200 years. So
Right. We had investigation at church one time, and it was built in 1818,
mhm.
and we booked a choir singing. That's
Nice.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. We actually call up on the DVR camera audio. So,
Cool.
yeah. Oh. Ernie, do you want to tell people how to get reach you and your sites?
Sure.
I'll put everything on afterwards too. You
Okay.
know,
All right. You can find me, Ernie Pack, ERNIEPACK, on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. Just send me a friend request or send me a private message. Send me a private message if you send a friend request and you're not somebody that I know, because I don't accept friend requests from everybody, but
Right.
most everybody I do. But if you send me a private message and let me know who you are or whatever, we'd be glad to talk
Yeah.
to you.
Well, now
You
you
can find me on what's that?
now you know me. So
That's right. Yeah. I think we're friends on Facebook.
yeah, we are for a while. I'm trying to get on for a while. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to get you on.
Cool. You can also find me on Packman Paranormal. We have a Facebook page and a group called Packman Paranormal, PACKMAN Paranormal. We've also got a Facebook group, Hauntings of Fort Duffield.
Mm-hmm.
All written out, Hauntings of Fort Duffield Facebook group. We've got a Facebook page for the house called The Real Ditto House Inn 1841.
Oh, I check it out.
Yeah. Denise says, don't PM her, and she means it. She is not antisocial, don't get me wrong, but she has anxiety. And if you don't know her and you send her a PM, she's like, this is someone trying to kill me or something. She automatically thinks the worst. So don't PM her. Just send me a message, and we'll be glad to talk to you about booking the fort or about booking a night here at the Ditto House. We've still got a few left through the end of the year that, like I say, they're Friday night investigations, and we try to work with you to pick out a Friday night that works for you and us, because we both work and have real lives outside of this.
Just think of it. I know you won't get a lot of snow, do you?
A lot of snow?
Yeah.
No, we don't get a lot. This year we did have one pretty good. Every year we have usually one or two decent snowfalls where we get close to a foot or something like that. But we don't get a whole lot of snow here.
Yeah.
We get a lot of storms here. We just had a flood here in town.
How you guys doing? You all right?
We're fine. The water got up around our shed and then up along the side of the house, but water didn't get in the house. But there's a lot of folks in town that lost everything they got. It got really bad here. And like the Todd SQ up there says, if requested, they'll show up for your private overnight to help us host.
Oh, that's cool.
Todd and Leanne of the Black Wolf Paranormal, who host the public events, and I gotta do a quick plug for them. They do the public events at the Bell Witch Cave down in Adams, Tennessee, legendary location down there. I think they're about to open up some private overnights availabilities down there. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that they're about to work out a deal where they can do some private overnights at the Bell Witch Cave.
Cool.
They also do public investigations at Trousdale Place in Gallatin, Tennessee, and at Stone Harmony in Gallatin, Tennessee. So they're some of the best. They help us co-host our events at Fort Duffield every chance they get. They've been to all of them but one, I think. We do a lot of things together in the paranormal and just as family. So they do a great job though.
We always consider ourselves family going out and stuff, and yeah, that guy did a lot to help me because I'm handicapped, so it works out good.
Yeah.
So,
And I see my sister Beth Allen in the chat now. Beth is now the director down at Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky. And Octagon Hall is one of the premier spots here in Kentucky for paranormal investigations. So reach out to Beth or the Octagon Hall Museum about booking her place, because that's an awesome location too. Buffy, you need to know more about the Bell Witch Cave. Well, talk to the Todd. Talk to the Todd and Leanne. They can help you out with that.
Yeah. So you want to give a shout out for your podcast?
Yeah, we do a podcast every Sunday night at 9 p.m. on the Get Haunted Network. We always share it out to all of our groups, and it gets shared out to a lot of groups and pages and stuff. But we originated from the Get Haunted Network, and it's an hour of Denise and I talking paranormal, and Denise abusing me. A lot of times we'll have a special guest on. I think this coming weekend we're going to try to have Rob Stackowicz and Sarah from the Get Haunted Network on, and we're going to talk about the upcoming trifecta event that they're doing up at Fort Duffield. So they'll have some details on that. It'll be a good show.
I check out Get Haunted. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, you might want to start running your show through there. They do some good stuff over there.
Oh, I check out.
It's a good little family of people to be a part of.
Oh, if they accept me.
Well, talk to Rob.
Yeah. Okay.
Reach out to Rob Stackowicz and talk to him about it. Seriously. I mean, they're always looking for new shows, and like I say, it's a really good, tight-knit family. You got all the tech support you need. I mean, everybody works together to help each other out. We help.
It's kind of hard to find people in the same mindset anymore. You know, it's hard.
That's what I like about the Get Haunted Network, is even those of us who don't necessarily agree on paranormal theories or whatever, we all are very open to one another's ideas, and we talk to get, all the different show hosts and stuff. We have a group chat that we're all a part of, and we all talk about, we kick around ideas and thoughts on it. And nobody judges anybody. It's a judgment-free zone, as corny as that might sound. But I really enjoy being a part of it, because like I say, you got tech support, you got people in there that can help. If you need help with editing a video, or coming up with a good intro video, or putting out a flyer for your show, promos, there's people in there that'll help you with all of that. There's people on there that will just log into your show when you come online and start sharing it out to multiple groups, so that you get more viewers. I mean, it's a really good family.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a possibility. I'll check it out. Yeah. That you're a freak fly.
Beth, if there's anybody that knows about letting their freak flag fly, it would be Beth Allen.
Oh, okay.
She can get freaky with the best of them.
Oh, hi. Check out her freakiness.
Yeah, she's a freak, I'm telling you.
She is super freaky.
She is. She is. She's a freaky girl.
Oh, my.
See, she admits it.
Too much fun. That's how. Oh, Lord. Well, that could be long enough. Next time I'll get you Denise on.
All right. Yeah, we'll try to. Like I say, she's on orientation right now, so she didn't have any control over her schedule.
But,
once she comes off orientation, she'll be able to do some self-scheduling, and it'd be easier for her to work around things like this.
And also, I also say that I can change days and time too, if possible.
Okay.
So, but the normal time is Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Cool.
We'll just stay in touch. Be glad to do it.
Okay. So, take care.
All right, everybody. Everybody tuned in over here. Thanks for joining us.
Happy haunting, everybody.